Welcome back everybody. Uh, Today we're going to make a table component. That's gonna be fun. Cool beans. So before we start, what I want to do is I want to open Google Sheets, and from there I want to create. I'm not sure if I've already done this. Maybe I have, or maybe I have not. Oh, yes, I did. So let me just quickly show you what I have done. Is I have a list of cars. This is very small. Let's just make sure it fits the screen. So I have a list of cars that I like. It's cursory at best, but I have a list of cars that I like. We have the year, we have the make, model, engine, and the rating out of 5. And I'm going to bring this into a table. So we're going to make a table in Figma that is made out of this content as well as auto layout. And to get started, what I would like to do is make sure that firstly we bring in a component that I've made. Okay, very simple component. So I'm gonna hit Shift I, and before I continue, let me just make sure that you guys can see my shortcuts. It's Friday in South Africa, guys. It's actually Thursday, but it's Friday because tomorrow's a public holiday. So cool. To get this started, let me just explain this component. This is a cell component, and inside the cell component we have body cell content, which is essentially an auto layout set at 0 gap, 0 horizontal padding, 0 vertical padding. I just want to align it to the middle, and inside of there's a child or a text element that is a child of that auto layout parent. So that's all there is to it. In body cell content can be swapped out for header cell content, but yeah. So we're gonna automatize. Why do I keep making words? But we're gonna make a default content row. So based off of our Google Sheets, let me just make sure I can see correctly. So based off of our Google Sheets, I think we have about 4 or 5. So we have the year, we have the make, we have the model, we have the engine capacity, and we have the rating out of 5. So that's cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a default row. I'm going to wrap this baby here in an auto layout. It's going to be called frame 1, but I'm just going to call it content, and I'm just going to say 0 everywhere. So I don't want any padding or anything like that, or any gap, sorry. And I want it to be aligned to the middle, so center, and the direction should be horizontal. Yeah, cool. So in content, I'm gonna just hit return, and that selects my cell. I'm gonna duplicate that 5 times. Right, 1 2 3 4 5. Cool. And I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna hit Alt L here to close all to collapse all the layers. I'm gonna hit return, and I'm gonna make sure, because by default the cells are fixed, I'm gonna make sure I make sure they fill the container, so that when I resize them, the table resizes as well. Right? Hope you guys are following. I tend to go a bit fast sometimes. Okay. I'm also waiting for a delivery at the same time, so I'm gonna try and make sure that I'm done before the dude comes here. So that's default content. What I'd also like to do is I'm gonna maybe duplicate one more cell, and why I'm doing this is because I would like to have this be actually no, let me not do it that way, because I feel like it's gonna interfere with my content. So let me componentize this, make that a component, and then I'm gonna take this baby here, which is a component, and I'm gonna wrap it in an auto layout. Right, make sure that's 0 everywhere. I feel like this might be like nested hell, but it's fine, it's not bad. 1 2 3 4 5, yeah, that's 5, that's fine. So in this row I want to add another cell, so I'm gonna just copy this from here and paste it in the row. And because the row is going down that way, I've just changed the direction to horizontal. And then now I'm going to take a checkbox. I'm just going to hold down Alt while I drag it into here. What I want to replace is that cell content, so body cell content. Yeah, and now what I want this to be is I want to make it a fixed size. I'm going to make it a fixed size of 36 so that it hugs the what is that thing called now, the checkbox. I'm going to change, let me just see, my CPU usage is spiking. What can I shut down? Just gonna shut down settings, shut down terminal, and see, does that bring that down? Okay, it's fine. My MacBook is being a baby. But nearly there though. So cool. Just 1 second, let me just cool beans. So it's a bit better now. I just sort out my machine. So I'm gonna just change this color. Just want to make it a bit more vibrant. Zoom in a bit here so you guys can be able to see properly. Cool beans. And in this state, the checkbox will be unchecked. So now what we have here is a row content, right, or a row component. So let's do that, and then we can add we can select that, and then we can add a variant. Now what I want to do for this is I want to make a hover state. So I'm going to call this property here state, and I want to call the selected one hover. Then what I want to do is I want to my bad. So I want to return until I've selected. In fact, let's start here. Default content. Let's make sure we select everything, and then I'm gonna make this, I think 300 should be fine. Yeah. And then I'm gonna do this one separately because I added that to the auto layout. Cool. Hopefully you guys are still following. Then one last one is I'm going to make another variant, and this one is going to be active. And the only thing that will change here really okay, I'm just gonna shift enter. Yeah, the only thing that's going to change here is going to be going to be this checkbox. That's when it's going to be active. So what did we say, 50? Yeah, makes sense. And then I'm gonna command select. Cool. Then I'm gonna make sure that's checked. So now just all I want to do is ensure that I prototype. So I'm gonna hit Shift E to open the prototyping tab, and this is going to be while hovering, or I guess we can say mouse enter, right? Yeah, let's do mouse enter. Then I'll just make it dissolve. I feel like it's just the easier transition. Then oh no, that's the wrong direction. So this should be mouse leave, and then this should be mouse enter. Then so I guess for both of these, actually I can just take all of that, right, and ensure that that one on click changes to and dissolves. Yeah, so I think maybe we can try and play it and see how it goes. Oh, maybe it won't do it because it's not a frame. Lol lol lol. Yeah, it's not a frame. That's fine. Cool. So we're nearly there. Now we're going to take one of these and I'm going to drag it out. Cool. What I'm going to do is open Google Sheets Sync. So I've already got my Google Sheets links in here. And I can choose for it to update only the current page or the entire document, but for now just the current page is fine. And then I'm going to fetch the document or the data. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure that in the main component, so essentially all of these, right, that's going to be the year, and we should be able to see that. Yeah, so you'll see it says year. Then we're going to select all of these and make that the make of the car. Then we're going to select all of these ones and make that the model of the cars. Then we're going to select these ones and we're going to make that the engine. And then I'm going to select these ones and we're going to make that the rating. So cool. So now this baby here should have those because I made that in the component. Now the other thing that but let me first do this. Let's first wrap this baby here, and I keep calling things babies because I feel like they're my children. I'm going to call that @hash, right? And if I select this auto layout, and I'm going to remove that gap, so I'm also going to remove so I'm going to select this one and I'm going to call it sync. I'm going to tell it to sync, and you'll see that it starts adding the things dynamically, which is great. So now we have a functional table, and what we have is it should be responsive. Just let me just check if it is. So we'll just tell it to fill its parent, and when we resize it, it should then resize accordingly. So let's see. What happened? Sorry, that table should hug its contents. children should fill the parent. So cool. So if I resize this should move together. Why not? I'm curious. That's weird, right? Oh, you know why? Because here we said this thing should hug its children, and each default content component was fixed for some reason. So that's the problem. Let's just select one cell, shift enter, and make sure that it fills. So that should work. And let's go for it. There we go. It's doing what it's instructed to do. So even though I use auto layout pretty much every day, I still make like rudimentary mistakes, which is fine. It's the process of learning and getting better every day, right? So now what we can check to see how the table performs. So maybe we can be able to check our, what is this thing called now? We'll be able to check our interactions. So yeah, let's quickly have a look at that and see how that goes. Cool beans, our table is loaded up. Ooh. So if this is, yeah, that should be the case, but the change in size should not happen. See, and if I click here, that's the one that we've selected. So let's go back in there and see why it's misbehaving like that. Okay, let's make it full container. Let's make sure it also fills the container. That's weird. I didn't get that option there. Okay, let's make it hug the content. Let's see how it goes. I think I know why. I'm just do shift A here to add an auto layout, and then I'm going to select all the children, ensure that they all fill the container, and let's see how that goes. That's weird still. What is that default? Mixed. Okay. Let's make that 710. Let's see. Maybe that's why. But it's weird. It shouldn't do that. Now the top ones have stopped interacting, which is weird also. Let's check our prototype. It's still set to work. Let's reload our prototype. And oh, but another thing that we've forgot to sort of do is duplicate this one and literally just make let me exit prototype mode. Cool. And then I'm gonna change that to header. Just 1 second. Cool. So I don't have text overrides for this one, but I don't mind writing it out. Did you know that if you hit tab after writing some text, it goes to the next cell? I didn't know that until I found it out. Funny story, my son was pressing some buttons on my keyboard while I was working, and it happened. So I was like, well, thanks, dude. Yeah, some of the greatest what can I call them, discoveries about Figma have been happy little accidents. But yeah, so the other thing that I want to do is ensure that because we do have number cells, apparently you want to make sure that you format your numbers in a table better for better readability. So I'm going to select all the numbers and I'm going to hit return, and I'm going to change that to number. And that didn't work, and I don't know why. I'm also going to just hit return and hit number, right? But it's not going to do what it's supposed to do for some reason. I think it's just the issue that my main component isn't, and I owe Figma money, but my main component is not sharing. They don't share the same. I think, let me just check. That should be text. That also should be text. Okay. Gonna remove that property. Let me publish these changes. Modified. Cool. So if I review this change, I'm hoping to God that it will actually retain all of my stuff. And yes. Cool. So that's a bit better. And then maybe what we can do, maybe because we are weird like that, we might want to just make sure that we make this bold. Just for fun, right? Just for fun. So yeah, that's the table. Let's quickly have another look and see how it works now. Yeah, look at that. So on hover, it's doing the right thing, and then if I click there, that's now selected. If I click that, that's now selected, and that's all responsive. So we've done a pretty great job for ourselves. Yeah. So if you're wondering why or where my components are, I did a live video some time ago, a couple of days or a few days ago. I did a live video of me working on a few components from that, and I'm pretty sure we were working on inputs. So I'll do another one this coming week, because maybe just over the weekend, because we do have a long weekend, so I'll probably work at those. And I'm also working on a documentation template, which is coming together quite nicely, so looking forward to actually using this. And it's quite fun working on these things. So if you guys are interested, join my live sessions, and yeah, we can probably chat while and I'll answer some of your questions while we're doing what we're doing. But until then, see you next time. Cheers, bye.